Most people might feel like you're waiting for life to change for you, but life is actually waiting for you to decide. The moment that you stop doubting, reality instantly begins to realign. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about how your reality changes when you let go of that doubt, when you get out of the doubtful mindset, what is actually happening, why this is imperative. So stay tuned to hear all of my advice explaining what's going on, how to get out of it, just everything to do with moving into the right mindset for your manifestation. So welcome to new viewers, welcome back to any subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Please do consider clicking that subscribe button, which I think is even on screen if you're watching in full screen now. So yeah, also on screen right before we jump into the content, I'll pop everything that I offer, all my special offers, membership info, and everything is right below in the description box, the join button. So if you do want that exclusive bonus content, take a look, and yeah, you can sign up for the month because I'm literally just starting the exclusive content. Doubt is literally creating a split with your focus, your mental focus. One part of you is, believing your manifestation versus the other part believing in the doubt. So you might be feeling really confident, hopeful, and focused with your manifestation. And then that other part of your mind, the conscious mind, the logical thoughts tied to the ego that's trying to protect you, is telling you, no, here's the logical 3D circumstances, here are all the doubtful thoughts. And you can kind of feel almost like you're in this internal tug of war where part of you is arguing against your manifestation, and then you have to push back to argue against the doubt. And it can feel like this little cycle that keeps going, this inner battle. But it's important to remember the approach that your mind and you can't serve two masters. Are you going to focus on faith or fear? Your mind and where your focus goes is always going to mirror that dominant state. Are you focused on fear, doubt, lack, constantly questioning what's going on around you, re-questioning, regurgitating the past and the old story, which is the only thing keeping it alive? And are you going to focus on faith, build your faith, let go of that doubt, process it, let it go? Or are you going to hold on to that because, like I said, your mind can't serve two masters, good or evil? So every time you're questioning, is it actually working? Now, initially, when you first think over things or you first need to process things, the old story, let it go, forgive, forget, everything to do with that, it's completely fine. You will question, is it working? Am I doing the right thing? Are my affirmations correct? You can obviously analyze and do a little audit of that to know, okay, yes, I am taking Alexa's advice and other coaches' advice, and I'm applying these concepts that I believe in, that makes sense to me. Here's the logical explanation. Here's the instructions. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, I'm feeling better. I'm seeing results. So you build on from it, from your personal experience, but you have to also sometimes, at the beginning, I'm not saying asking any question or saying, is it going to work, is wrong, but it's about the cycle. If you keep repeating that, if you keep thinking, well, is it going to work? Am I doing it right? That's where the doubt is taking over, the fear is taking over. It's the old story. It's not a good way to think. You're coming from a place of insecurity, and it's essentially reaffirming that old story, the opposite of what you want. So you want to be very careful not to feed into this pattern. And what you're going to see in your 3D reality, for the most part, obviously change is always happening. Your mind is always shifting and evolving. You're not always going to believe and think the exact same things. Obviously, hopefully people mature and grow and learn. So even a couple of weeks, a couple of months can teach you a lot, especially when you're applying manifestation. So your mind is going to change, but what your 3D reality, until that shift comes in, it can be good or bad, it's up to you, positive or negative thoughts, your subconscious is going to reflect outwards wherever your dominant focus goes. If your dominant focus has been doubt, that's what your reality is going to reflect. It doesn't mean, oh, SP hates me, I'm not good at manifesting, life is tough, life sucks. Those kind of thoughts, that's not an objective fact. That's not what's going on. It's not that manifesting is too difficult or that your life isn't meant to be good or that you can't just have faith and let things unfold perfectly for you. It's that your dominant focus has been on the opposite. So your reality has to reflect that. And then if you're saying, well, I just want everything to start shifting into the version I want, obviously, when you start putting your focus more into, I'm not saying you have to spend way more time on affirmations, but having your mindset be more positive, pushing back on the doubt and the lack mindset, the doubtful thoughts, the fear that comes up, answering that in a positive way in your mind, in your thoughts, speaking out loud to yourself, that's when your reality will have literally no choice but to conform to that version. Your brain is always seeking consistency. It wants safety, answers. It doesn't like the unknown. So when you start applying consistency consciously, start putting in practices, habits, you're building up a literal habit over weeks, and then it will just become an automated reaction. You'll see how much easier it becomes when you actually apply consistency. So literally your thoughts, your emotions, your overall perception of your life, of reality, is going to shift and align with that version. So you focus on the end result. You just have to mentally focus, mentally embody the end result that you want as if it's true, as if it's here. So remember and understand that, of course, repetition isn't about forcing a belief. You're literally teaching your mind and body to align with that version, as I said, and you're teaching your nervous system, your neural pathways, on a kind of subconscious way. We're not consciously saying, okay, here's me, addressing my nervous system, but that is the kind of side effect of it. That's what's happening within you. You're teaching your nervous system that it's safe and it's okay to want and to have this new reality. So remember that you can't create and sustain the version of your reality that you want, the outcomes that you want, by holding on to or repeating the same thought patterns. You can't go through, with the same patterns and habits that built the old version of your reality, the old story, to build the new story, right? So to analogize, if you're doing an exam, you have multiple exams, maybe you failed the first exam, and that's okay, there's a second exam coming up, you have a second chance. You're not going to give the same answers. You're not going to take the exact same approach. You're going to say, something went wrong there. Let me study more. Let me change my approach. Let me see what answers I got wrong so I can work on it. It's the same thing here. The patterns and thought patterns and habits that built that old version isn't what's going to take you into the new version. A great scripture quote for anyone who appreciates a little religious approach as well, from Matthew 9:29. It says, according to your faith, be it unto you. So that's a really great reminder, holding on to that faith, because faith isn't tied into waiting or hoping or begging and searching for proof. It's embodying as if that reality is already here. You've asked for it, ask and you shall receive. You've focused on it, you're repeating your affirmations, you're focusing your mindset, you're being positive internally. You're making positive shifts, which is what externally creates that domino effect. You cannot receive what you want whilst being negative. And I also, like I said, like to think of it with, of course, God is limitless. I remind myself of that as well, that I don't need to carry the burden and solve my entire manifestation on my own. I believe that God has already created all these limitless potentials, and it's all within us. We can achieve and have what we want, whatever's for our highest good, whatever is going to bring us joy and fulfillment. Why shouldn't we have that? So remember, you're not chasing or trying to force the outcome. You don't need to do something impossible, or, it's these small thought patterns and habits every day that you can build on. Having self-awareness is key. That's going to help you realize and learn so much. And then your job is just to align with that. So every time you think to yourself something like, oh, what if it doesn't work? Again, like I said at the beginning, is it working? Literally flip into the opposite. It's already working. Everything's working in my favor. Of course I'm getting everything I want. So flip it back around as soon as you think it. Don't accept those negative thoughts as fact. So mentally speak to yourself, have those inner conversations, and just act and carry yourself, and just go about your day to the best of your ability, as if it's already yours. It's coming together, not someone, again, who's chasing the 3D reality, chasing proof. You're just going about your day and holding yourself, speaking to yourself as if it's already true. That's going to help convince you even more. So remember that your new story is going to strengthen and become so much stronger and more powerful the more you remind yourself that I don't need the evidence, I just need to focus on the faith. I need to focus on trusting in what's happening, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and everything is going to come together for my highest good. So I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys found that useful. If you did, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell, thumbs up the video, maybe leave a comment of your thoughts. I hope this was reassuring and helpful. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.